Welcome back, everyone, and I do mean everyone. It's Forgotten Circus. I'm going to be going over Alien Romulus and what mistakes should not be made. Definitely. So let me start by saying, you know, Prometheus and Covenant really, I don't know what Ridley Scott was thinking or doing. It kind of messed up the timeline. And those are two movies that I really didn't like in the Alien. So I mean, I watched them. They have watchability because David, played by Michael Fassbender, is amazing as the synthetic. So I mainly watched it for his scenes and his different take on how the aliens were created, which was a little bit strange because it really messes up the timeline. I know everything connects in some weird way, but you could have done without those. And just like Alien 4, you could have done without that too. So in my mind, there's only been three Alien movies. Okay. Those are just some other stuff. But so I want them to not focus on the engineers because this one is taking place between um, the Nostromo, which was from the first Alien, where you got to introduce to Ripley, and I'm going to get into that. Um, it's 20 years after she's already been in cryostasis. Ripley's already been in cryostasis, and she's on her way back to Earth. So it's 20 years after that, and she's in stasis for 57 years. So we have plenty of time if you want to, how can you say, rejuvenate, resurrect the franchise. You could pump out probably three movies in that time. But see, now that kind of messes up the timeline because it was almost like Whale and Utani, right? We're the only ones that knew. Okay, because when she's getting back, they're asking for all the footage and what happened and what's that. So, Whale and Utani, as you think about it, they basically run. They have a monopoly on the synthetics. They have a monopoly on space exploration, and they can get mercenaries at will. I mean, they're basically uh, how can I say, probably the Amazon of the distant future. Like they run everything. It was well in Utani. So I'm pretty sure they sent out other explorations. So that kind of does make sense here because in that stasis and when she gets back, they acting brand new. Like, oh, really? Oh, somebody actually survived? You know, after all the other crews probably have, and who knows with this crew in Romulus, because you got the Romulus, the Remus, I guess the Remus space station, Romulus, and back in, weren't they brothers or something like that? But who knows? They could have been. I mean, if you want to go by what the engineers did, and I don't want the black goo. Let's get away from black goo. I thought it was stupid. It was okay with the part of it where they created us, they created life on Earth, the engineers with in Prometheus, and then they just threw it all down. Uh, they threw it all away, and yeah. So and like so the main our main character is probably going to be Rain Carradine. I like that name, Rain Carradine, played by Kelly Spaney. Now you're going to have to with her. Oh, you got some big shoes to fill. Oh, Sigourney Weaver as Ripley. So I guess she's going to be our Ripley. And our new synthetic is going to be Andy. So if this isn't so you had Ash, the synthetic from the first one, kind of not as polished. Then you had Bishop. What was the other one? Winona Ryder one, which was a waste. But Bishop is definitely he's in the top two, but I still got to give it to David Michael Fassbender. Even though if you think about it, Bishop had some of the most heroic scenes, and then Ash was just so unpolished, kind of like he was more synthetic. You know what I mean? Now, what are you going to do with Andy? You're going to make Andy because that's in the time frame where they're fully not. There's been upgrades. You know what I mean? A lot, but that's why David was a little bit weirder in Prometheus because he kind of had like almost like true feelings too, and that's before all this even happens, like the Nostromo and all that. But so Yeah, Kelly, you got to step your game up. And and I like how they're doing a smaller cast. That is very key. Really small. Because which LV is this? Is it going to be LV 223, 224, 228, 229, 22? Which LV is this going to be? Is it that, are we going to get into the story that maybe since we have to include the engineers, you got to link everything together, whether you like those movies or not, that, have they been placing these life forms on these certain planets, like kind of baiting people in? Because you want to, if you want to go back to the lore of it, the engineers came here, created us. They're actually the ones that created us, and maybe we got a little too advanced. So what better way than to drop like the perfect predator, the perfect like killing machine on the planet, like a couple million of them, and have them just wipe out that planet. And then eventually, we don't know how the extent of the engineers' technology. They could just probably do that and then just do it for fun, you know, and just nuke the planet of the aliens, or they leave the aliens, the xenomorphs, there for just so no one can ever go to that planet. We will be the most advanced. That's probably how the engineers think. Um, but with this, I like how now I really know even from like the trailer with them doing the more practical effects, it looks more real. If you look at when they did the heavy CGI of like the Deacon and stuff and Prometheus and it just it looked too like fluid. You know what I mean? Whereas if you put them in suits and do practical effects, it looks it looks more real. To be honest with you, it looks real, like people in suits. Like that's what we remember. And you know what? I got a thing to say about I don't know. Did I say this earlier? I'm probably repeating myself, but I got a thing to say about Ridley Scott. So he does have it. It's from his vision. You got to give it to him. But when he said that one thing about, oh, aliens should have never happened, Space Marines, because he didn't direct it, James Cameron did, and the whole set was like, all the people on the set were like homeboys with Ridley Scott, so they weren't even giving him the time. But he said that aliens should have never happened. Aliens is way better than Prometheus, Covenant combined, easily. And he was saying something about, oh, Space Marines with guns, that's stupid. Why? If they've already heard about this and know about this from Nostromo, and this might tie in there, they're getting all this knowledge of these friggin' perfect killing machines, the xenomorphs. You think they're going to go on that planet or to that planet with, a lab coat and tweezers? No, they're going to have guns. And I like how they're bringing the pulse rifle into this. Pulse rifle, sick. So we're going to see the first gen pulse rifle, and it's the Alien franchise. Definitely going to be flamethrowers. Always fire in the freaking, well, when they're good movies. But yeah, I'm really excited about it. I really think with the practical effects and the face huggers look a little different, so that's good. And he basically copied on the Romulus. Fede Alvarez, basically the director, copied what the Nostromo looked like, because that was the thing. If they now Fede Alvarez is a horror director, so he knows how to scare you. He knows how to do the lighting. He knows how to do the shadows. He knows how to do the sound. Can you introduce a little bit of that element from Event Horizon? If you could make Romulus like Event Horizon just with aliens, ridiculous. And I really think from early screenings, from what people have seen from some of the screenings, they say it's haunting, and that's something you haven't heard in a long time, especially from a sci-fi horror. Haunting. It's a powerful word. So a lot of big shoes to fill. The small cast I really like. So then you can kind of build. You don't have to stretch out too much, giving everybody like FaceTime and lines and stuff. You know what I mean? Not a lot of extras. Not a lot. You can focus more on the set itself. And from what I've seen, it looks like they've built a lot of these sets. Okay, they're doing the practical effects, which is great. Really love it. So, um, yeah, just don't make the mistakes of the goo. Don't make the mistakes of relying so heavy on seeing the alien. That's what made it scary in the first Alien. And even a little bit in Aliens, but they had the people with guns, so that they had to ramp it up. But it was creepy. You didn't see it that much. It showed, bring that element back. But uh anyway, that's all I got. So tell me if you're excited about Alien Romulus, and drop something in the comments and give me some. I know there's some big time like Alien Universe heads out there that probably. What planet is that? Is that LV-223? Am I getting these mixed up? And do you think they should incorporate the engineers in this, or they should just leave that alone and it's just xenomorphs? We don't know what they're going to do. So I don't know. But anyway, tell me what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I want everyone to subscribe. And I do mean everyone.